Welcome to Season 2 of the Indiana is Ag+Bio+Science podcast, where we explore topics and have conversations with the people leading and supporting the Indiana Ag-Bio-Science sector. I'm Gerry Dick. I'm the host of Inside Indiana Business, and I'm excited to continue this series with our partners at AgriNovus, Indiana. 2018 was a year full of more than just momentum in the Indiana Ag-Bioscience sector. It was a year of very notable wins. And to kick off Season 2 of our podcast, very pleased to have Elaine Bedel join me. Elaine is the president of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation and is here to recap some of the big stories, the success stories of 2018, and also share about how to build on momentum and create even more success stories in the years ahead. And Elaine, as always, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
First of all, give us the thumbnail description of your job. President of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, a group essentially charged with driving economic development and investment in the state.
Right. I was honored to be appointed to this position by the governor in 2017, and so I took the position February 1st, so I'm almost into this, I am right at 2 years in the job, and it's been very interesting. The role of the IEDC is to really help the economy of Indiana, and we normally look at how do we increase jobs, and that can be either by helping companies within Indiana increase their footprint, or by attracting businesses from outside of Indiana here to establish themselves, or by growing our own. And so we've got different programs that we do to encourage each of those different areas of our strategy.
All right, let's look back as we begin to 2018. A lot of activity. I know going in, there was a pretty ambitious goal set for jobs deals and investment in those types of things. How did 2018 turn out? 2018
turned out really well. It was another record-setting year for job commitments. 2017 was a record-setting year at 30,000 plus job commitments. 2018, we went over that at 31,000 plus. So pleased all around. We had, I think, about $7.4 billion of investment coming with those job commitments as well, which is like the second highest in the history of the IEDC. So it was good all around.
I know a lot of factors go into this, but as you look at those record numbers, those big numbers, what's really driving it? What's driving the interest, especially in companies outside of Indiana looking to come here, set up shop, and do business?
Well, I think a lot of it is where the state is from a business perspective. I mean, it hasn't happened overnight. It's happened over the last decade that the state of Indiana has gotten itself into a position where we are very attractive to businesses. We're ranked number 1 in the Midwest, number 5 nationally for best places to do business. So, that helps because with those kind of numbers out there, we got on everybody's short list. But they're coming here for our business climate. They're coming here for the talent and the movement that we have had and the trends that we've been seeing in the technology area, because no matter what your business industry, what sector you're in, technology is playing a big role.
The state focuses on a number of sectors: information technology, distribution and logistics, the life sciences, advanced manufacturing, and increasingly ag-bioscience is a very important part of that. Talk about how the state views this sector of the economy, and which seems to have some momentum.
Well, you've heard it said many times, we make things, we grow things, we move things, and obviously the grow thing is that history that we've had in agriculture. And for the last 200 years, that's been a major part of Indiana. And agriculture is changing. I mean, when you talk about when all of the technology comes in, but we need it, because when you think about it, a lot less land is being devoted to raising food. And, this world needs more and more food as our populations grow. And it's through the technology that we can add that we can do more on less. And it's very exciting. So I think that's a real important area for us to continue to grow, and we've got the base here to do it. So it's just attracting the rest of the technology.
And that growth and those opportunities not limited to Indiana, the Midwest, or even the United States. There's a global picture, and I know there was a trade trip, an Ag-Bioscience trip that was taken to Israel last May, and out of that there was a memorandum of understanding, and those aren't unusual, but typically they don't have much teeth. This is something that there's some interesting developments.
Out of that MOU came a joint venture in essence. And so we just several weeks ago put out the call for applications from companies in Israel as well as companies in the United States to come together in a joint venture in 2 different sectors, one being cybersecurity, but the other one being agriculture and technology. So Israel is kind of that hub of technology. They're always coming up with something new to apply. We have the ag here, we bring them together, and we're looking forward to seeing how that works. It's the first one we've ever done to do this kind of a joint venture, and we're anxious to see what we get, because we even said, come with us with your ideas. We'll match you up if we need to with other companies that can then you can work together.
So many examples, I think, of momentum in the space. Another interesting dynamic last year was the fact that Indiana hosted the Forbes Ag Tech Summit in September.
Yeah.
I think IEDC was certainly a big part of that. First time I think that event has been held outside of California. That says, I think, a lot that event came to Indiana.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I think they're recognizing that the Midwest and the agriculture that we have in the Midwest is very different from the West Coast. And so it made sense for them to come here with a very different program, in essence, as well. And we look forward to one that we'll be having again this fall. They're coming back to do it a second time. So we're anxious. They were pleased with the crowd that we had, the level of speakers that we had, the interest that we had. So it was a great event all around.
AgriNovus, the organization that really supports the Agbiosciences all over the state of Indiana. I remember when it was formed, initially I was taken by the amount of buy-in and excitement around the initiative from the beginning. And that seems to continue to grow. As you look at that partnership between IEDC and AgriNovus, why is that important?
Oh, it's very important because as we looked at that sector, we need expertise. And we can either hire expertise or we can partner with AgriNovus that has all the expertise, has the contacts, has the ability. Beth Bechtel, the CEO, is just wonderful and has been a great partner for us. She's been very helpful in introductions as well as securing businesses and to have an interest in Indiana.
As you look at partnerships like AgriNovus, there have been a number of company announcements. Premier Bioscience, Italpolina, I think I have that pronounced the correct way, which I believe located in Anderson. A number of other companies that have decided to set up shop in Indiana. As you look at the pipeline going forward, how do you see that momentum? And the fact that these companies made the decision to locate here, does that add fuel to the fire of potential future deals?
Right. Well, another company was one from Brazil, Saflintech, who is going up to Purdue. They want to be close to the Purdue Research in Ag as well. And that's another great technology firm. Well, to just give you an idea, the trend is moving in the right direction. We had about 35 new companies commit to Indiana last year. The investment is like $938 million in investment. That's huge from that sector. That's an 89% increase from the year before. So we can see this trend is starting to build because I think we're getting this reputation out there. I think we're getting our name out there. And all of it plays in. Having Purdue and all their research that they're doing in ag science, having the FFA here and bringing in their big conference every year and their students and their whole organization, all of that plays into giving us that name again, and I think that's all helpful.
And you kind of stole my next question because you're right. Yeah, you're right. Does Indiana, in your view, number of states compete in this ag bioscience space, but as you look at Indiana, are we as a state uniquely positioned because of a world-class institution like Purdue, because of the national FFA being headquartered here, because of an organization like AgriNovus? So the assets, the pieces are in place that maybe aren't in place in other parts of the country.
And I think there are a couple of things there. We've really focused on it. AgriNovus focuses on ag. They don't do anything else. They focus on ag. So we've shown a light on that industry, and we've also been able to collaborate. I mean, I think that happens in Indiana maybe than it happens any other place with universities and businesses and organizations like AgriNovus, the state, the local governments, all collaborating on trying to make these things come to reality. And I think that's what businesses tell us. When they come here, that's the one big advantage that Indiana has, is that they can talk to everybody and we all collaborate together. We're not all isolated in our own little silos. So it's very helpful to Indiana.
As you look at the talent issue, which affects basically all industries in Indiana, whether it's advanced manufacturing, IT, whatever the case might be, ag bioscience, no different. How important is solving that talent issue and educating parents and young people to the opportunities that exist in ag, because it's more than just raising crops. There's so many different opportunities.
Absolutely. I grew up on a farm. Farming is nothing like what I experienced as a child, so it's totally different, and I think we do have to educate parents to give the right advice to their children who have that desire to be outdoors or that desire to be tech-oriented with something that grows like that. I mean, I think there's real advantages to that, and talent is crucial. You know, all the businesses that come here, where am I going to get our talent? And we are now intentionally linking through all these collaborations that we have, linking a company to where their pipeline is, so that they can get the talent that they need from the universities or from the area of the state that can help them the most.
And as we wrap up, looking ahead to 2019, I know you have additional trade trips and others planned in the space, so another busy year in the ag bioscience space.
Absolutely. It's a focus that's moving forward, and as I mentioned, I think we've got momentum, and I think the trend lines are all in the right direction, all going up.
Elaine Bedel, always a pleasure to see you, to talk to you,
Thank you.
I get really excited about what's happening in economic development in general, but also in the ag bioscience space, so thanks.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us on this first edition of Season 2 of the Indiana is Ag+Bio+Science podcast. We explore topics, have conversations with the people leading and supporting the very important Indiana ag bioscience sector. I'm Gerry Dick. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
This podcast is a product of Inside Indiana Business, hosted by Gerry Dick, produced by Libby Fritz and Joe Ullery, and was recorded on location at Launch Fishers. More people get Indiana business news from Inside Indiana Business than any other source.